Hello, I am Toad Comrades, but I might change my channel name. But this is my first Rise of Nations video, and it's actually gonna be a tutorial on how to play the game. Now, first off, I'd say the best country to start off as is Russia. Now, you may say, haha, communism funny, that's not what your channel's about, but it's more than that. Pretty much, Russia is definitely one of the strongest nations in the game. As you can see, they're seventh ranking. How the hell is Mexico? They are seventh ranking, and but you can really increase that. But you can start off really good, and all the nations you need for your formable, at least in their base AI form, are not very strong. For example, the Russian Empire and the Soviet Union literally have the exact same nations you need for a formable, except the Russian Empire has Finland. But yeah, so there's that. And another reason why Russia is definitely the best nation to start off as is its immense natural resources because it has aluminum, oil. It has lots of oil, and that's very important if you want to build up a massive tank arsenal. And it has lots of iron. Now, iron is really important if you want to build two very important factories: motor factories and steel factories. You are gonna need these really early on because once you have them, you can make tanks almost at the beginning of the game, and that's really important. Now, now I'm just gonna. Now I recommend doing what I'm doing here and at least have this amount of troops and split these troops at the beginning of the game and start training them, but don't train these ones because it'll be expensive, right? So yeah. Also, if it's not super important, like if it's stuff like this, I recommend accepting trades. Now, selling, I don't really recommend unless it's something that you really need and it would be really useful. Now, another thing, so there are some nations that are really, really, really attractive to other countries. For example, as you can see right now, Poland is just getting dominated by Germany. Could have had a better choice of words there. Yeah, but Poland's getting dominated by Germany right now. So, also, places like Kazakhstan are often invaded by Russia and China. Also, here is something. Turn off auto merge most of the time unless you're newer unless you're playing the game for a while and you want to keep it on. But if you're starting off, I recommend turning it off. Alright. Also, military groups are heavily effective for it, and so you're also going to need military power for a leader. And some of these leaders are better than others. For example, this gives you an XP bonus of 21, but they have -5. So you're gonna want to at least probably use one that doesn't have any negatives. So military power increases fairly often, so you don't need to worry about that. But something you do need to worry about is keeping your stability in check. A good way to keep it in check if your ideology is not aligned, which you start off as with most countries, but some are different, like Japan, India, Brazil, and the US all start off as democracies. Cuba and North Korea start off as communist, and Vietnam, Laos, and China all start off as socialist. But pretty much for countries that don't start off with ideology, you can do the frickin' hell. You can take him out. You can do the uh go to policies. You can do the neutrality act, which increases a lot of things, and it gives you a much better stability and tax income. But the big problem is that it makes justification times a lot faster, so you can't go to war as fast. Now, pretty much, if you're Russia, if yeah, it's not that important what I was gonna say, but so if you're Russia, unless you want them to live, I recommend rejecting Ukraine or something and do an alliance request because you're gonna need unless you don't really care about forming all too much and you're hell bent on that formable. Wait, there we go. Ah, frick. But yeah, so pretty much let me just. Also, technology. Technology is important. Now, these you gotta do later, but this is essential. Upgrading your economic tree. Because if you upgrade your economic tree, it will, of course, will give you more money. And money is pretty much the key to this game. Now, I'm gonna do some other stuff explaining in the next video, but pretty much stuff like ideologies and policies and modifiers, I'm gonna explain in different videos. Same with factions. But for now, I'm just gonna show you how to do a successful first playthrough. Like I said, Russia is the best country to start off at. So first off, you're gonna want to make sure to have some strong allies. Like this goes for any player, but you don't want to be friends with. You want to stay on China's good side unless you're like one of their targets, like Taiwan. Now, yeah, go invade. Wait, Neo Red Army create. No, all right, but yeah, go. Freaking yeah, Ukraine. So they're doing well in Kazakhstan. A lot of your troops may actually die in Kazakhstan, assuming you're Russia. But that's just because you're starting off. Alright, so push into Ukraine. Yay. Now, okay, another thing. Auto capture. Auto capture is important if you're new to the game because you can send your troops to attack a specific country or if the other country you're attacking has other countries in its borders, you can make sure to only capture the other country in its border. Like say, I don't know, Ukraine took Moldova. Well, you can pretty much declare war on Ukraine, but you can hit auto capture and then you can go specific and then you can make your troops only attack Moldova and capture that from the Ukrainians. So pretty much a really important thing for your troops is training. Now training is one of the most important things in this game because because it can increase your troops EXP and help them have better attack and defense and up to if I'm correct 175%. Now the other percentage that's gonna be the 300, the rest of the stuff it can only be achieved through actual combat, but a good portion of it can just be achieved through training. All right, so I'm just gonna merge these guys, at least a good portion of them. Oh yeah, I forgot to ally dream. I always like ally dream. The unit. Factions are something I'll explain in a different video, but for now. Yeah. Oh yeah. As you can see, I have lots of iron and stuff now. Did Kazakhstan collapse? Oh yeah. When a country collapses, make sure to have annexed cities occupied, seize great treasury, and demand war reparations as long as it's an AI country and it's a solo war. Because if you're doing it with someone else and they want something out of the war, you might scam them or something and they won't be too happy about that. Oh yeah. Let's see how my stability's doing. It's pretty slow. So I have time. Okay, now now that you see I have iron and stuff, now we can start building tanks. Now tanks, I'm gonna be explaining military stuff in this video by the way. Tanks are one of the things you can build if you have materials. Also, there's also planes to build those. You need aircraft factories, and you just need lots of oil and steel to make aircrafts. Now but tanks are one of the most recommended things. Artillery is another really good one. But yeah, I'll go more into military stuff later. Alright, did I assign these guys? Yeah. I'll go into military later, really in depth. But for now, I'm just going to explain the basics. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to start playing until I form. That's pretty much enough for you guys to know. I mean, that's all you really need to know. That you're first formable. Okay, so if you're Russia, here's a really good strategy I like to do. When you're finished with Kazakhstan, I like to oh yeah, for Russia, I don't know why I didn't bring this up earlier, but I like to split my troops into two divisions and send one to Eastern Europe and one to Central Asia. That way, I can maximize the speed of invading other countries. I'm just gonna say the thing. Now, there's also alliances in like chat, and I'll explain that on the factions video. But yeah, I'm just gonna say something in chat. Oh yeah, here's something you don't. Here's something you really should do that I didn't do for some reason. Make sure to justify. Make sure to justify as soon as you can. You can only justify twice at a time. So if you're especially going for formable, make sure to justify at a good time. Alright, time to start trading these bad boys. Well, I guess. Oh yeah, frick, frickety frick. Deficit. Deficit is something what happens when you lose more money than you learn. There might be many factors to this. You have too big of a military, your reinforcements are too high, all that jazz. Now deficit. Now, and if your deficit goes on for long enough, you can end up in debt. Now, how do I get out of deficit? As you can see, it's mainly the reinforcements. Now, if they're really close, I just say let them keep reinforcing. But I'm just gonna turn it off for now. Then I'm gonna start training them. That will also like. I'll also like make my military keep it fast stuff, but yeah. There's also these guys. Yeah, they're rebuilding, but so the trading is a bit expensive. Don't worry, because you can bring up taxation. Now, this actually can give your stability quite the punch, but it's nothing to worry about at this time. Alright, my economy's not doing very well, but that's just because of the training. When they're finished the training, it'll be all good. Oh, these guys are Cotton Mountain. That's fine. Yeah, reinforcements can get tad expensive. If you have to, I recommend turning them off. A little deficit is something everyone at least gets early game. Alright, we're just waiting for these guys to finish the training. They're almost done anyways. Anyway. Anywho, I'm just gonna like play as I go. I'm just gonna like teach as I go along, I guess. So, something really important about Rise of Nations is invading countries that other countries might want. Now you can, but I'm also gonna go into that in the more alliance videos. Now, I'm just gonna show you some tips for resources. If your country doesn't have a lot of resources, the best way to get them is, of course, trade. Trade I'm going to teach you about. You can buy a certain amount of things, and you can buy them in bulk, or you can buy them every few days. Now, consistently. Now, a bulk is a one-time transaction, and this, and a regular buy, this is a continuous transaction. Did it collapse? Yeah, it collapsed. Alright. The trading is definitely the odd pass. They took Estonia, but I can negotiate that later. Yeah, civil unrest. This might have some problems, but typically it just goes down normally. I'm just gonna let them do their thing. Yeah. Civil unrest is something, if you have really low stability, it can get really bad, and countries may gain independence, but most of the time it's fine. I am not making a lot of money. It's because of the reinforcements. Yeah, I'm turning reinforcements off for now. Yeah, sometimes you have to turn reinforcements off. You don't know what reinforcements are. It's like when if your troops took a lot of damage, you could like rebuild your army and it can like go up. But again, that's just another thing. All right. So yeah. That was just an introduction to the basics of Rise of Nations. I'm gonna go more in depth into a later video, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna show you for now. All right, bye bye.